Type 2 diabetes, you have up to 4 times greater risk of stroke, heart attack, or death. Even at your A1C goal, you're still at risk, which if ignored could bring you here. May put you in one of those, or even worse. Too much? That's the point. Get real about your risks and do something about it. Talk to your healthcare provider about ways to lower your risk of stroke, heart attack, or death. Learn more at getrealaboutdiabetes.com.
Okay, it's the Met Gala.
We are at fashion's biggest night. ET is in the middle of all the Met Madness. We'll have that for you tomorrow.
Yes, SJP for the win.
All right, before we go, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves is available.
Happening now.
A woman who claimed she was kidnapped after her husband was shot and killed, now behind bars. We have new developments in this murder investigation next.
After a few quiet and beautiful days, things will be changing this week. Storm chances return. I'll tell you when and talk about the odds in just a bit.
And the month of May has 2 holidays. That means double the savings for shoppers. We'll tell you where those bargains are on virtually everything, especially something for mom. The news at 5 starts right now. San Antonio police catching a suspect at the airport minutes before she flies away from a murder investigation that she may have played a role in. She's now facing a charge of hiding a corpse from investigators.
It turns out a woman who claimed she was being held at gunpoint after her husband's murder may have also been involved in his death. RJ Marquez live at police headquarters with more on how police put this all together. RJ.
Yeah, that's right, Stephen. Ursula, definitely a twist in this murder investigation as San Antonio police have now arrested this woman who initially told them that she was being held against her will at gunpoint for hours inside that apartment by a man who had just shot and killed her husband. But police now believe that she was actually trying to help get rid of her husband's body. So 30-year-old Marianne Dimitro is the suspect in this case. So she was arrested earlier, and she and her husband were inside the alleged shooter's apartment when the shooting happened around 6 a.m. yesterday morning. So according to police, she told them the alleged shooter, who was identified as Jose Carlos Alvarez, kept her there, but she managed to escape his place at around 9 a.m. She then called police to report her husband's death, and officers arrived to that apartment and arrested Alvarez. But investigators then discovered that Dimitro had some more involvement or maybe another role in this murder. Police said that she tried to help Alvarez get the body out of that apartment, and detectives actually found out that she was trying to clean up evidence inside as well. Police say that she was then also caught trying to leave the city.
And after they walked that warrant, the homicide detectives located her at the San Antonio airport about to flee the city. So they were able to apprehend her before she got on the plane. So it was a great arrest by the homicide detectives, being able to get all those who were involved in this murder and bring them to justice. So she was arrested for a felony offense.
All right, right there, airport police actually making that arrest there. So Dimitro is currently facing charges of altering, destroying, and concealing a human corpse, while Alvarez has been charged with murder at this point. Now, police said that Dimitro and Alvarez did have some type of relationship, but did not give us any further details on that. When we asked them what the motive was behind this murder, they said that this was just an ongoing investigation. Reporting live from San Antonio Police Headquarters, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, RJ. President Joe Biden praising action by federal regulators following the seizure and sale of First Republic Bank to JP Morgan Chase, insisting it wasn't a bailout.
In taking over First Republic, Chase agreed to protect the funds of all of the bank's depositors. ABC's Lindsay Watts with why in this third bank failure since March, the federal government is assuring us that no one lost money.
Early Monday morning, the FDIC seized the banking assets of First Republic Bank, then sold them to financial giant JP Morgan Chase. Under the deal, First Republic customers are now JP Morgan customers, and people will have access to all of their money. But customers have been advised to keep using their First Republic branch rather than Chase banks until the two systems have merged. First Republic is the second largest U.S. financial institution to fail.
We have to make sure that we're not back in this position again. And I think we're well on our way to be able to make that assurance.
President Biden today repeating his calls for Congress to strengthen regulations and supervision of large and regional banks. Biden also insisting this is no bailout, despite the FDIC providing JP Morgan with $50 billion in financing.
Well, let me be very clear. While depositors are being protected, shareholders are losing their investments. And critically, taxpayers are not the ones that are on the hook.
First Republic has been on the brink of collapse for weeks following the failures of Silicon Valley and Signature Banks in March. First Republic stock took a nosedive last week after the bank reported customers withdrew more than $100 billion.
Based on our analysis of the banking industry, this was the last of the ones that should face significant challenges.
Financial analysts say the most important takeaway is no depositors lost money during the seizure and sale. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
The manhunt for the man police say killed 5 of his neighbors in Cleveland, Texas remains ongoing today. Today, law enforcement actually searched a recycling center for Francisco Oropesa. Police say Oropesa was shooting his AR-15 style rifle for fun when his neighbor asked him to stop because a baby was sleeping. Oropesa followed his neighbor inside, opening fire inside that home. Authorities say they have been looking for him since Friday.
We do not know where he is. We don't have any tips right now to where he may be.
An $80,000 reward now being offered for information that leads to his arrest. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous.
Right now, another catalytic converter crime, this one broken up by a fight and a gun. The shooting happened just before 7 this morning at a business near San Pedro and Bassi Road. Police say an employee with the business showed up at work, saw the suspect stealing catalytic converters. The worker chased down the suspect, and that led to a tussle. The worker ended up shooting the suspect in the legs before police showed up. Police now questioning the worker and that suspect.
San Antonio police also investigating another shooting that happened around midnight near McCullough. According to police, the man was in a car near downtown when he was shot twice in the head. The driver took the man to the hospital where he is in critical condition currently. This looks like it's Metropolitan Methodist Hospital. Right now, a motive for the shooting is unknown. They do not have any information on who the shooter is.
Have you voted yet? The May 6th election is happening this weekend, and you still have 2 days to vote early and beat those election day lines. There's a lot on the ballot depending on where you live, from the San Antonio mayor's seat to school bonds and propositions. So far, more than 57,000 people have voted. Those numbers are on track with last year's voting, but Bexar County says they are prepared for even more voters over the next day.
That's an increase of a little over 9%. So when you plan elections, when you look at it, you do your numbers and your algorithms, we plan for another 10% boost, and we're not seeing that yet. So we'll see. Maybe Election Day will be a big day for us.
Early voting will end tomorrow. You can vote anytime between 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening. Election Day is this Saturday.
El Paso entering a state of emergency ahead of the ending of the pandemic-era immigration policy Title 42. That city expecting a surge of migrants when the policy expires on May 11th. Asylum seekers already camping out on sidewalks and staying at shelters in Mexico, just across the border from El Paso. The declaration in effect for 7 days. Then the El Paso City Council will decide whether to extend that order.
Right now on KSAT.com, Jacob's Well getting shut down to swimmers. It's one of the most popular swimming holes in Texas, but Hays County says it will remain closed for the foreseeable future. Hays County Parks officials say low water levels and spring flow make it unsafe. The park in Wimberley was closed for swimming during the 2022 season as well. And even though you can't go swimming there, you can still visit the area for hiking and viewing the springs.
Let's check out traffic right now. We are live at I-37 at Jones Avenue, and you can see traffic is busy as it heads towards downtown, but that's the normal give and take. It's traffic moving smoothly in both directions except for that exit ramp. And you know, traffic always a nuisance, even during Fiesta, but that party's over. The construction, though, is happening on roadways all over town now.
But if you want updated fiber optic cables in your neighborhood, you may not be as troubled about these traffic trouble spots.
Stephen Cavazos with how the roads getting torn up may not be such a bad thing.
All right, folks, we made it to May, and you can guarantee that there will be work that is taking place in and around the Alamo City. Let's go ahead and get started. What we can expect starting Monday, May 1st. cable installation. This is happening along State Highway 181 in Wilson County, and this is going to take us to the end of the work week, Saturday, May 6th, actually. So this work begins at 8 in the morning, should wrap hopefully around 4 in the afternoon. We'll see alternating lane closures in both directions from Bear County line to Standish Street. But let's take another jump over here to I-10 in Kendall County, where we will see field testing. Now, that's typically when crews get out there and test the integrity of the highway and the main lanes, so expect this work to begin Wednesday, May 3rd. It does start at a busy hour, 8:30 in the morning, and should wrap at 3:30 in the afternoon. Single westbound main lane closure right there at Russ Road is what we could expect. All right, one last jump. You may have already driven through this cable installation work that's been ongoing since April 24th off Loop 1604 in Far East Bexar County. This work will wrap up on Saturday, May 13th. It is going to pretty much take you all the way up until 4 p.m. So just watch out. We'll see alternating lane closures in both directions from FM 78 to Hanover Cove. But hey, we want to know how you're navigating through all of this. Scan this QR code. It takes you directly to our KSAT traffic page, and if you scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll find a full list of all the current closures. But we do want to know how you're navigating. Answer some questions for us. Tell us how this is impacting your commute, and of course, always know before you go.
Another beautiful day today. We strung together some gorgeous days over the weekend and even to kickstart this new work week. 83 our high temperature. That's exactly average, with the record being 99, set back in 1929. 92 right now, Eagle Pass. 93 in Warren's backyard in Del Rio. That's where we have the hotter temperatures as usual. 81 in Bernie, 84 right now in Lavernia, and Seguin at 83. I do want to point out the high clouds that are streaming in from the west and southwest at the moment. Those high clouds that are lingering at sunset should give us some pretty good color. So we've got that sunset scale, or I like to call it the sunset alert this evening. Should be some pretty good color, especially where we have those cirrus clouds lingering. Between 8 and 8:25 p.m. would be the best viewing, and be sure to share your photos on KSAT Connect. We'll be 74 at 10 midnight, right at 70 degrees. Storm chances soon return. We'll get into that in just a bit.
Thank you so much, Adam. Mother's Day is May 14th, and while hugs and phone calls are always welcome, a little something else doesn't hurt either. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moore shows us where the deals are for mom or yourself, all during the month of May.
May means warm weather and hot sales with two major holidays.
Early this month, look for Mother's Day sales on tech devices like smartwatches and fitness trackers.
Consumer Reports tracks prices on top products all year to know when's the best time to buy. You can surprise mom with something she can groove to all summer. This Ultimate Ears Mega Boom Bluetooth speaker is $163.98 at Amazon. That's $36 off. If she's into feeling the burn, a fitness tracker's handy. The Fitbit Luxe is marked down to $89.95 at several retailers, including Abt Electronics, Amazon, and Best Buy. This test shows it lives up to its water immersion claim.
Memorial Day is one of the biggest sale weekends of the year. Once we get a little bit closer to the middle of the month, start searching for sales on that refrigerator or mattress you've had your eye on. You're bound to find savings that'll be worth the wait.
And bonus, Memorial Day weekend, you pay no sales tax on many appliances that save energy and water. While you wait, get ready for backyard entertaining. This Monument gas grill is $679, $70 off at Wayfair. It's one of the highest scoring gas grills in Consumer Reports ratings. And here's a deal on a top-rated blender. The Vitamix One is $149.95 at Wayfair, nearly $50 saved. It's great at making smoothies, a healthy way to start the month. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Coming up, a potential strike in the making for American Airlines, why pilots are calling for the strike, and what it could mean for your upcoming travel plans.
I'm Myra Arthur, and here's a look at what's ahead today on the news at 6 o'clock. Narcan is the medication that can reverse an opioid overdose, but it can only be life-saving if you know how to use it. A local program is training counties across Texas, and we're going to show you how you can sign up for that training as well. A former SAPD officer was fired from his job and indicted on a third-degree felony charge back in 2020. But today, his case was dismissed. Why his defense attorney says he should have never been indicted in the first place. Plus,
if the community supports these propositions, then we immediately get to work.
School bond propositions. There are hundreds of millions of dollars in bond proposals on the ballot right now. So how are these projects paid for? We break it down in a new KSAT Explains. Plus, what you need to know about the wording that you will see on the ballot. It is not so straightforward, and it's about your property taxes. KSAT Explains and more today on the news at 6.
Thank you so much, Myra. Making headlines, the labor union representing American Airlines pilots is making themselves ready to go on strike. Even though no timeline was announced, the Allied Pilots Association says they could begin picketing at major airport hubs nationwide. American Airlines says neither picketing nor a strike authorization vote will impact flights or its operations. And it also says that a strike will only happen if terms for a new contract can't be reached.
Take a live look outside right now, 84 degrees, another one of those beautiful days. So we're all just, kind of easing into post-fiesta San Antonio.
Easing in is right. And I still have some of that leftover just fiesta feeling, that you still have a few days after, and you just look back so fondly at fiesta. And next year is going to be another good one, big party. As for going forward here, humidity returns tonight. That's going to mean some morning fog and drizzle, and then storm chances return by Thursday. Let's actually start with those storm chances. Take a look at this. Now, the next couple of days, you see that 10% chance, Tuesday and Wednesday. That's just for some morning sprinkles, not a big deal, just that morning dampness. But by Thursday afternoon and even into Thursday night, some scattered storms are likely to develop, 40% chance there. Friday and Saturday, we've got the 30% chance dropping down to 20% on Sunday. And keep in mind, it's that time of year where at any point when we see storms develop, they could quickly become strong to severe. So if you see thunderstorms in the forecast, there's pretty much always that potential they could be strong and severe this time of year. Quite across the state right now. See the big activity here around the Great Lakes. This system is wound up, big upper level low. That's moving away from us. What's going to influence us a little bit more is this upper level low over Northern California, this counterclockwise spin with it. This is going to be drifting down to the south and east, and actually will be wedged between that upper level low over California and the big blue H over Mexico. So what that does is it puts us in this southwesterly flow aloft, this southwesterly flow coming off the Pacific. It'll add a little bit of Pacific moisture higher up in the sky. And also, whenever we get into this kind of flow, the door's open for disturbances. We get these little impulses of energy, these little ripples in the flow that then come off the Pacific and head overhead and basically help trigger showers and thunderstorms. It's just going to be a matter of timing out those impulses and the instability in the atmosphere and tracking when those storms could pop up. That's why we have that 40% starting on Thursday, and then some isolated to widely separated activity Friday, Saturday, and maybe even into Sunday as well. This is very interesting. I'm going to step off so you can see this. There's a lot on this graphic, but Sarah Spivey put this together, and this is important. April of 2023 was the first time in 17 months that our rainfall was above average at San Antonio International Airport. I like what I see, and later this week I think we'll add to our rainfall accumulation so far this spring as well and keep boosting that aquifer. 83 degrees right now. Dew point is 62. Here are those high thin clouds that make for the nice sunset. This should be a good sunset. 8 o'clock to 8:20 should be the best viewing. But I want to talk about dew points. We're not really feeling a whole lot of stickiness out there, but dew points are on the rise. The wind is shifting out of the southeast off the Gulf of Mexico. Dew point up to 62 now here in town. That humidity is still trying to work its way into the hill country and along the Rio Grande, but it's going to. And by first thing tomorrow morning, we'll have those dew points into the 60s. Notice that dew point rise overnight tonight. And what that's going to mean is some fog and drizzle. And coming up at 6, we'll take a look at the fog futurecast, let you know, give you a look at our futurecast and how low the visibilities will be and when that fog is going to burn off. But otherwise, low clouds in the morning, some fog, drizzle, and some sprinkles at 7 a.m., 65 degrees. And then I do think we'll have a fairly cloudy sky, just with some breaks, some peaks of sun, 83 in the afternoon, and the noticeable humidity. 83 in town, 81 in Comfort, 82 New Braunfels, Nixon Smiley at 83 degrees. And temperatures, they will be rising a bit, a little closer to 90 toward the end of the week and into the weekend. But that's just a sign of spring, this time of year. And we do have those storm chances starting on Thursday that we'll be watching closely and fine-tuning that forecast in the days ahead.
Very good. Thank you, Adam.
All right, for draft night, the Cowboys draft was kind of a family affair. Larry.
It really was. Imagine being a dad working on an NFL team and you call your son, hey, son, do you want to come work with us? How cool would that be? That's exactly what happened to Deuce Vaughn when his dad, Chris, called him and said, the Cowboys are drafting you coming up. It even caught one of the members of the Cowboys off guard. And Jalen Jones, he's all about the horseshoe. Coming up.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, it's going good. This is Dad. My phone wasn't working. Look at here, man. You want to come to work with me next week? I wouldn't mind that at all.
To get a phone call from an NFL team on draft night is amazing, but to have your dad be the one making the call makes that moment even sweeter in big board sports.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Dallas Cowboys added 4 offensive players in the 2023 NFL Draft, including Kansas State running back Deuce Vaughn. They grabbed Deuce in the 6th round with the 212th overall selection. His dad, Chris Vaughn, the boys' assistant director of college scouting, has been with Dallas since 2017. Now, leading up to the draft, Chris left the room whenever the boys talked about Deuce because he did not want to be an influence one way or the other when it comes to the draft. The decision to select Deuce was such a secret, it even fooled head coach Mike McCarthy.
The lead up to it was pretty cool, too. I mean, because the way Jerry started talking about one other player on the board, for a minute there, I thought you'd changed your mind. So, but no.
You know, we talk about the couple players we're considering, and then we stop talking, and so in my mind, we're going to take so-and-so player, and then Mr. Jones kind of, it's kind of quiet, and then Mr. Jones kind of goes into, what he said at the time, and it still didn't register. It was like it was a joke that everybody was in on except for me, because it wasn't registering, and then so when it did, all the emotions came out.
What a great moment for him. As for Ezekiel Elliott possibly rejoining the Cowboys, owner Jerry Jones said after the draft that ship has not sailed. Cornerback Jalen Jones was drafted in the 7th round by the Indianapolis Colts at number 221 overall. The Steel Knight alum met with the Indianapolis media via Zoom, and he was asked who he patterns his game after.
Me being a bigger corner, I look at guys like Jalen Ramsey, Marlon Humphrey, guys like that, man. Just watch how aggressive they be at the line, messing up routes from the get-go. Man, just all the assets to my game, I just feel like I'm a long, rangy corner. Very physical, man. Get to the ball, and man, just very, very intelligent, man. Just slowing the game out for myself, seeing what it looks like, seeing what it's for, man. Just attacking and bringing 110%.
Congratulations to Jalen Jones.
Yeah, and everybody who got drafted.
Absolutely,
that's a select few there.
It is indeed.
Yeah, thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
You look at our temperature trend this week, fairly spring-like. Low 80s all the way through Thursday, then upper 80s to near 90 by Friday through the upcoming weekend. And we do reintroduce the storm chances by Thursday. Some scattered activity likely to develop, could even last into Thursday night. And then isolated evening activity Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it's that time of year. Any storm that develops could become strong to severe. We'll keep you updated.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you for watching the News at 5 with us.
World News is up next. We'll see you back here at 6.